Hello, this is Igoro, host of the Igoro Show, and you are listening to the Steve and Crypto Show. So keep your ears open and your mouth shut.
Hey, welcome to the Steve and Crypto Show presented by thestevestrout.com. I'm Steve.
I'm Crypto Zoo. We have reached episode 78. Thank you, everyone, for listening. We are very excited. We are just days away from what is probably our favorite convention in the Northwest, which is Seattle Crypticon.
Yes,
and
Crypticon.
You know, not hating on anybody on any other cons. You know, we love going to conventions, but this one just is like a special place to us. Steve was trying to get me to go for years and it never worked out. And then finally last year, I finally was able to go for the first time and I love it. And this year is looking even better than last year.
It's like our home con.
Yeah.
Before we get into that, like I said, is like you mentioned Crypticon. This is our Crypticon preview episode. We have a few guests joining us to tell us about there's couple vendors and artists that's going to be at Crypticon presenting, and they're telling us about some of the stuff they have, what they're going to be offering, what they're bringing. And they do have online sales available for, of course, not everybody listening is here in the Northwest going to be able to go to Crypticon, but they can still check out these creators and enjoy their work and maybe support their work. So that's cool. But there's ways to support us.
You can head over. That's right. You can buy us a coffee. You can head over to buymeacoffee.com/Steve Crypto, which is a tip-in service. It's a great way to support a podcast like ours, a great way to just contribute to the show as a whole. It helps out in many, many ways. It helps to improve our gear. We use it for promotions. We, may use it for something involving Crypticon coming up. There's a lot of different things that it goes towards, and we thank everybody who has contributed so far. So again, that's buymeacoffee.com/Steve Crypto.
And we also thank everybody who has been supporting us on social media, sharing our posts, making their own posts about the show, telling everybody about Steve and Crypto Show. If you're not following us already, find Crypto Zoo 88 and find the Steve Strout and follow us both on Instagram and Twitter. And we do have a Facebook group as well dedicated to the Steve and Crypto Show where you could jump in there and join the conversation. You could post stuff. If you're working on anything cool, please share it in there. Let us know. Let us see it. If we like it, maybe we'll even have you on the show. If anything, there'll be some like-minded people in there hanging out and see it too.
Yeah. We have quite a few people that contribute to it like every week, and it's great to see some of the things that they post. And it's quite often like pieces of comic books, that they're working on, or maybe a song from an album.
We've had a few filmmakers in there.
Yeah.
Indie filmmakers. It's always cool.
Even if you can't contribute yourself, just go check it out and just become a member and follow the group. And there's lots of cool stuff that you'll find through there. And another way that you can contribute to the show is by heading over to our Patreon, which is patreon.com/Steve Crypto. And you can access some great content that we already have a few videos out there. We have
maybe
something
not
else
great,
coming up.
Let's go with good. Let's go entertain. How about entertaining?
Should I like lower the bar? Be like some mediocre content?
There's some shit over there. I don't know. No, I say entertaining. I don't know. I'm my own worst critic, so I don't call us great. Right? I like.
All right.
Even though we did get nominated,
like that,
we did get nominated for the Rondo Hatton Classic Horror Awards, which is pretty cool. We're in good company, but I think we're just entertaining.
Yeah.
I don't need to be great.
So if you want some entertaining content, you can head over to our Patreon.
Great sounding cooler though.
Yeah, I was just trying to, hype it up a little bit.
I feel you.
But
Patreon.
yeah, so yeah, patreon.com/Steve Crypto. We have a few things over there now. There's something that we're working on at this moment. We might have something new fairly soon. So, but yeah, go check it out.
Yeah, do it. You can just pledge any amount as low as $1 a month to whatever, and it gives you access to some. We post a lot of stuff there, and you get first access to it before general public does. And there's some stuff that just stays exclusive. Like pretty soon, we just shared some little video clip, like a teaser for Crypto's family vacation he went on a couple weeks ago in Las Vegas, and we're gonna have a mini episode up there pretty soon about that. He's gonna tell us all about the shenanigans him and the lady and the kids got into, and booger eating dinosaurs and gambling and the strip clubs with the babies and whatever other kind of stuff they got into. But yeah, you could also look cool by wearing our swag, our gear. We got some Steven Crypto gear. We got a couple different t-shirt designs. We got a mug, which I just seen Crypto sipping off of, and every time he does, he gets this glow and he smiles and he gets happy.
I get lost in the moment,
and like rainbows shoot out of the mug and all kinds of crazy stuff. Yeah, I think he just
rainbows might shoot out other places too when you drink out of this cup, but if you're wearing pants, you can't really see that.
Yeah, I think every time he sips it, he like has an orgasm or something. I don't know, but
you remember that SNL clip, Orgasm Guy? You remember that?
No.
It was stupid, but it was kind of funny. Rob Schneider, it's back in the 90s.
If it was Rob Schneider, it was stupid.
He'd be like, "Oh, beer in a bottle." Oh,
yeah,
pretty dumb.
Anyway, yeah, we have merch. You can head over to Etsy and search for Steven Crypto, and it'll pop up the Steven Crypto merch shop. And I think I still might have some of the trucker style hats left, which are available directly through me. So you could just track me down and shoot me a message, and we could figure out how to get you one of those.
Ooh, maybe I'll have a couple of those with me this Friday at the show.
You might.
I just might have a few there. So if you're local, you could grab one at the Ubiquitous show this Friday, May 20th in Port Hadlock.
Yeah,
Washington, that is.
Crypto Zoo is performing with a national touring hip hop headliner. And
Ubiquitous Success Crew. This is his return to the Northwest after a few years. He's probably had like a Seattle show or something, but this is his return to our neck of the woods. He hasn't been out here since Success Crew was here in like 2018.
Right. So how cool does it feel to be able to open a show for one of like your favorite performers?
It's pretty fun.
Yeah.
I gotta say, like, I don't, this goes across the board, like anybody in music. Like, I don't care how good you are if you're an asshole. And Ubiquitous is far from that. Yeah. He is a very nice guy. Even before opening for him, this is probably like my third time, just meeting him at a show once, like my friend and I were going to take a picture with him, and we handed the phone off to somebody, and they ended up taking some video, and they meant to take a picture, and he was like, "That's going to be some funny footage later." And, he was like telling the guy, "Take your time, take a couple pictures, whatever," and he definitely gives time to everyone that he bumps into, and, another show in Seattle, I was there with some local people, and we were all kind of huddled around a car out front and talking and waiting for the show. And he just came out and surprised us and just kind of jumped into the circle for a minute, and
the circle.
Anyway, I've opened for him once or twice in Spokane. And, that was a really fun experience back when he was in his group. And it was cool because they let us like come out on the stage with them. And I stood off to the side and recorded a good portion of their set. And this is to let anybody listening know, like, if you haven't seen a Cess Crew show or a Ubiquitous show, just what they're about. You know, they're no longer a duo now, but UBI still kind of, you know, holds the same energy live. Back then, they did, I want to say, like an hour and a half set. And then at the end, they just asked this crowd out in Spokane, what do you guys want to hear? And people just started shouting out names of songs, and they played them. And, you know, at one point they jumped out into the crowd and started like rapping in the middle of everybody, you know, standing around them. And then like, they really interact with the people that show up for them.
That's cool.
So, yeah.
I like when performers are still on the level that they can safely do that. You know what I mean? There's some people that you can't. No, it's not going to happen.
Right.
But it's cool. I mean, I like to see these performers that work hard like that make it to the level where they can't, but let them hang out on this level for a little while and win over some fans first. But
yeah, when they were
cool.
here in 2018, you know, here in Port Townsend, they were on the Catastrophic Event Specialist Tour, because when they were a group, all of their albums, they would name them so like the first letters, you know, were CES.
Right, so it all fit with their name. Yeah. So they had that tour. It was them and Gmo Ski. And this is just veering left a little bit about Gmo, that particular show. A lot happened that night. Gmo is known as like a filth rapper, and this was his second time here. Some of the people that showed up didn't know what they were getting into when it came to his set. And I was kind of thinking, like, before the show, like, all right, this is a coin toss. They're either gonna love him or hate him. And they ended up loving him, you know, like he made them laugh. I mean, not only is he a very talented MC, and he has a lot of background in like the Team Backpack scene. That's where I found him. So the dude can rhyme, but he's just cracking jokes up there the whole time as well. And, you know, he brought a good vibe. Cess Crew brought a good vibe, and that's exactly what's going to be happening this Friday. That's right. Friday, the 20th.
Yep. May 20th.
Port Hadlock, Washington, for all
Port Hadlock.
You Northwest listeners.
You can get tickets for $20 in advance. They become $25 the day of the show. And I believe VIP tickets are $35, which the meet and greet is at 7:00. You get a meet and greet with UB, and you get a special poster. And if you have already bought a normal ticket, I believe you can upgrade at the door if you choose to, which is kind of nice. If you do want a VIP ticket, those are online only. So, well, you know, until the day of. So, normal tickets, you can get them from the performing acts. You can get them from, if you contact Emerald City Promotions, you can probably figure out a way to get a ticket through them as well.
But like we mentioned, the easiest way for anybody listening that somehow might make the show, just contact CryptoZoo. Yeah.
Send me a message. I got tickets on me. I am happy to help you out. We will meet somewhere. We'll figure it out.
Also, if you get the regular tickets, you can get a meet and greet with CryptoZoo. And there's no special poster or nothing, but he might have like stickers, and he'll give you a sticker. And
my meet and greet will be across the street at the 76, like an hour before the show.
Yeah, he'll buy you a gas station burrito or something.
Yeah, free bean and cheese for anybody who shows up.
Don't say that. Watch people show up now. Where that bean and cheese at? Fucking bean and cheese.
You know, the last show I disappointed people because I told them on the podcast before the show that we were going to have punch and pie, and then they arrived and I didn't have any, so I was sorry to let them down.
You just can't lie about stuff like that. But I think we kind of veered off a little bit here. We're trying to promote Crypticon. That's going down also the same weekend, and we're 99% sure Steve and Crypto will be at Crypticon on Saturday. So Crypticon runs in SeaTac, Seattle, Washington, from May 20th through the 22nd. So
That's right.
We should be there. And like I said, this is a little preview episode we put together. We have a few people who'll be vending at the show, tell us about their wares and stuff. So why don't we jump right in and introduce our first friend that's going to be at Crypticon. We have a very popular Northwest artist named Eli Wolf, who does these crazy pop culture monster weird mashups. They're just like fun.
Yeah, I love his work. I unfortunately wasn't around for this interview. So before we get to that, I'm just going to say that my part when it comes to Eli, I love his work, and I hope you guys check out his stuff online. I have a few of his things already. I have a couple stickers and magnets. One of them is Chucky with like a little cutting board with some cheese on it, so it's Chuck E. Cheese.
Nice.
And
clever shit like that. Like me, I have a picture behind me of a Bigfoot and an alien high-fiving.
Nice. I like that one. I know another one I have is old Curious George getting into some trouble reading the Necronomicon.
Yeah. That's good. Let's jump in, meet Eli Wolf, and make sure you visit his table at Crypticon next weekend.
Hey, this is Ace Vaughn Johnson from LA Guns, and you're listening to the Steve and Crypto Show.
Hey, we're on the Steve and Crypto Show. We are doing some more hyping for Crypticon, and we have a local, he's a popular guy on the whole convention scene here in the Northwest. His name is Eli Wolf. He does these great, I'd call him a pop culture mashup kind of art that we'll let him describe his art. So meet Eli Wolf. Let's just jump right in and kind of describe what you do.
Hey, so thanks for having me on the show. I guess basically my art's called lowbrow art. You know, it's art that's inspired by all kinds of stuff, like underground comic books, stuff like Big Daddy Roth, Garbage Pail Kids. Growing up in the 70s and 80s, I was really into like Mad Magazine and any kind of art that kind of had a sense of humor to it. But I also really like the artwork on movie posters. You know, back then when you go to the video store, the artwork on the VHS is like, that's all you know about the movie. So you'd rent the movie if it had a cool cover, like Evil Dead 2. I always remember seeing that cover. I was like, man, what is that movie? And when I finally saw it, I'm like, this is so great. So if I had to like pick a dream job, I think doing movie posters in the 70s would have been just amazing. So
yeah. Well, I think you would have been the guy for it. Yeah, definitely the VHS covers definitely sold me on many rental choices as a kid.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes the cover is better than the movie, you know.
Yeah, I was gonna say they also deceived me quite a few times too, but yeah, it was fun though. Those were the good old days. Yeah. So Crypticon's coming up later in May, and what kind of stuff are you going to bring to the show?
So I usually try to bring a couple original paintings to Crypticon. I've been painting little 8x10 originals. Most of my art I paint with acrylic paints, and they're usually a bit bigger than that. But I've been finding when you're doing a show, you only have so much table space. And I usually only bring prints, stickers, magnets. But at Crypticon especially, people have asked me like, hey, do you have any originals? Because people like to collect original art. So this year I'm going to have at least 5 or 6 little 8x10 originals. I painted some original monsters. You know, Crypticon is all, people love anything, horror movie, monster, weirdo kind of stuff. So sometimes I'll just doodle in my sketchbook, and it won't be like a mashup or anything funny. It'll just be like weird blobs and, creepy looking fangs and all that. So I got a couple of those I'm going to have. I also painted one recently inspired by, scary movie or / screen. I never had painted Ghostface yet. So there's a great scene where Ghostface is like drinking a 40 and eating a bag of chips. So I've got a painting of that. I just did a painting of Sam from Trick or Treat. A lot of people have been asking me because people love that movie Trick or Treat. And with my brain the way it is, I wanted to do something funny. So I did, instead of green eggs and ham, it's green eggs and sand. Nice. Kind of a mashup there. The original already sold, that painting already sold, but I'm going to have some prints and some magnets of that image. Since the actress who plays Elvira is going to be there, I'm going to have a bunch of prints. Where I did a scene of Elvira kind of on the dating game. I was imagining if Elvira was on the dating game and she had like, the contestants were like Ozzy Osbourne, Alice Cooper, Gene Simmons, and Elvira's deciding who she's going to electrocute. I call that one the shock rockers. So hopefully that'll be popular. People can buy a print, get an autograph on that one from the actress who plays Elvira. So I'm gonna have all my normal stuff. People that have seen me at conventions before, I've always got just a ton of magnets. My magnets are really popular because they're super cheap. You can get a magnet for $6 from me, and I've got like 80 different magnets.
Yeah, we have a few on our fridge.
Yeah, I've been painting now for over 10 years, so I've got a ton of art, and it's fun to try to, I'll paint something new, and I'm like, okay, is this new image going to be better than any of my back images? And when I do a convention, it's fun to, if nobody resonates with the new art, then I'm like, all right, well, I guess that one's not going to be going forward for a while. But other times, it's like a survival of the fittest when it comes to which magnets I'm going to display.
Right. So, you mentioned, bringing the Elvira piece because she's going to be there.
Yeah.
Have you brought any art of characters, with the actor that portrayed it at the show and like presented them the art and gotten any reaction or anything from any of them?
So I've never personally got to get up from my table to go meet anybody. Whenever I do a show, I'm there by myself. So right. I pretty much am just like the full time, just at my booth.
Right.
But I have had people tell me like a couple of years ago, the actor who played Pinhead was there, and I have a painting that's called Ronald McPinhead, right? Where I painted,
right.
Ronald McDonald, as Pinhead. And I guess somebody took that print and had it autographed by him. So that was cool to know that happened.
That is pretty cool.
And I'm hopefully that kind of stuff happens occasionally. Every now and then, what's really fun is if I have a mashup of two characters, and then people like if I get Freddie and Jason, and then people dressed up as Freddie and Jason and come to my booth, then it's fun to like have them hold up the print, and it's very like a meta kind of experience.
Yeah. Are you doing any special pieces or anything for the convention itself?
Well, I mean, basically these little 8x10s that I've been painting, the last 4 or 5 months, I've just been thinking of Crypticon, and I've been just really trying to paint some actual like monster themed art. Not necessarily just like in the past, I've had like do a painting of Freddie or a painting of Jason, and I'm trying to mix it up and kind of just bring some, because my imagination is full of just really, just abstract random weirdness. So it's fun to mix in the recognizable characters with some more kind of original stuff. So this year I'm going to have some pretty cool new like original monster art, and hopefully somebody at Crypticon is going to enjoy it enough to want to like walk home with the original. So we'll see how it goes.
See, that's what I dig about your stuff is the weirdness part.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I really like doing the really weird art, and it doesn't always resonate with everybody, but
right.
My brain is like kind of half super weird and then half trying to be a stand-up comedian, trying to make art that's kind of got a sense of humor to it.
Yeah, it's you use your skill and talent, and you can see that you want to take it and just make people happy. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
just put a smile on somebody's face. Like we got these scary characters.
Right.
But I love it. I love seeing great scary art, but you add a fun twist to it.
Yeah, like I always tell people, like because horror movies are my absolute favorite go-to movie genre. But like I tell people, I like them the same reason I like a roller coaster at a theme park. It's like it's a safe way to be scared. Like I don't like how scary parts of the real world are, and I try to avoid being in actual scary situations. But for 2 hours, if you can watch a monster scare a bunch of people, you get that adrenaline rush from it. But then when it's over with, you're like, oh, okay, that was fine. It wasn't too bad. Occasionally, I'll get a horror movie that's so scary. I actually like pause it for a little bit and be like, what in the world is going on? And that's pretty rare because if you watch enough of them, you almost kind of get, used to like, okay, I know what's going to happen. I know where the jump scare is at. But every now and then, a new director will come along with something that just blows me away, and that's always fun when that happens. I'm trying to think of like the last. Well, there's a movie I saw called I think the Autopsy of Jane Doe. I don't know if you've seen that one.
I haven't seen it. I've seen it pop up. But...
Yeah, it's a real kind of like slow burn, and the less you know about it, the better. But it actually gets genuinely scary about halfway through. And I was like, oh, okay. I did not see that coming. So
That's nice when a movie, like me personally, I'll watch them and I'm always trying to one, my main thing is I want to be entertained.
yeah.
But I am still looking for like the art side of it. I like to figure out like, oh, how did they do this kill scene? You know what I mean? How
for
I
sure.
wonder how they did the makeup for this or that.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah,
and it is refreshing when something still catches you and like,
yeah,
holy
when
shit.
a movie
Yeah.
is so good that you forget that it's a movie, and you really
Yes.
think about like these are actual people in a really scary situation, and you don't think about the how do they do the makeup. You're just like, that's a cool monster.
Yeah.
Like one of my current favorite new movies is Psycho Gorman. I don't know if you've
Oh
seen that one yet.
man, I love it. I love
It's
it.
just that, to me, that's my perfect sweet spot for a horror movie, because it's got tons of good gore, but it's also really, really funny and entertaining,
Yeah.
and it's super weird. So
Yep.
it's just like this perfect sweet spot that
That
like the mainstream audience is not going to be into it, but you meet any other friends who have seen that movie, and if they like it, you instantly have a bond there. So
that's probably the best way. If somebody doesn't know your art, like describe your art. Be like, you ever see Psycho Gorman? That's all. You know what I mean?
yeah,
That's
that's true. Yeah,
that's good. Have you done any PG
I did.
pieces?
Yeah, I did a portrait of Psycho Gorman. Normally, I try to do something like like a mashup or something kind of funny. So I haven't done that yet. I really should, because there's a great scene where he's with the little girl, and they start a band and he's on the drums, and I
Yeah.
thought that was hilarious. But no, I did a portrait of him. I think I had that last time at Crypticon. I think currently the original of that is actually in an art show right now over in Seattle. But I'll definitely have prints, and I think I've got some stickers. My vinyl stickers are cool because you can put them in your car, just like a bumper sticker. So if you want to have like a Psycho Gorman sticker on your car, I should have some of those.
Very cool. You mentioned an art show, your stuff in art show. I've seen you post stuff a lot about being in galleries and permanent display and people's shops, and where are some of the places for locals that they could go check it out?
I'm lucky enough to have my art in about like 6 different shops now between Tacoma and Everett. The spot that has a lot of my art right now is in Fremont, just north of Seattle. It's called the Uncommon Cottage. So they've got about 30 of my original paintings in the shop right now.
Wow.
So that's a really good spot if you're in the Seattle area. Some other spots, downtown Seattle, there's a spot called Happy Days and Funny Nights. It's right by the Pike Place Market. They've got tons of my stuff. If you're in the South End, there's a really cool spot in Tacoma called the Full Moon Flea Market.
Right.
Which is all about, like, I think they've got about 20 or 30 local artists in there. And the whole vibe of that shop is like spooky Halloween year-round kind of stuff.
Oh, I'll have to check. I've heard of it, but I haven't made it there. I'm gonna have to go check that out. That sounds like my kind of place.
Yeah.
Now, do you had stuff down at Greg and Ann's shop in Kent too, right? The Retro Emporium.
Oh, sure. Yeah. The Retro Emporium in Kent. Yeah, that's a really great spot.
Yeah, I love those guys.
Yeah. When you go in there, I love that it smells like breakfast cereal. They've got like some sort of scent.
Yeah.
And actually, I connected through them. I connected up with a guy who runs a video game arcade in Des Moines, the Waterland Arcade.
Okay.
So that's a cool spot where they've got actual old school 80s arcade games and a bar, and they have my art. So
nice.
it's I think one of the coolest venues to have my art, because I've always really been into actual arcade games. So like knowing my art's hanging out with the games is pretty cool.
That's cool, man. That's awesome. Since we're mentioning shops and stuff where your art's showing at, or before we get back to Crypticon, is there any other conventions or anything coming up?
Well, actually, yeah. Depending on, I don't know when the podcast is going to get aired, but tomorrow morning I'm doing
mid-May.
A show. Okay, yeah. So let's see.
What do you got tomorrow morning?
Well, tomorrow morning, I'm doing Odd Mall in Monroe. The spring version of that is this weekend. Yeah.
We've had Captain Slinky on here to hype Odd Mall, like right when he first relaunched it. So
yeah.
So and Odd Mall's happening a few times a year, so people listening will still be able to check out a later later edition of Oddmall?
Let's see, but for May and through the rest of the summer, so obviously Crypticon is I think May 20th. The weekend after that, Memorial Day weekend, I guess, I'm doing a big event in Tacoma called the Punk Rock Flea Market, which is a super cool event. They've got like 100 vendors, and it's not like a normal flea market where there's just like your grandma's old furniture. It's like all kinds of cool art and weird clothing, and just it's a really fun vibe. They'll have like DJs playing music. There's like, they're selling beer. The whole vibe is like almost like you're at a cool concert. So that'll be in Tacoma. In June, I'm doing SummerCon, which is in Puyallup at the Puyallup Fairgrounds. That's a kind of a newer show, but it's really fun.
It's a good show. It's really, it's one of the few shows where you could still shop for comic books.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I know. So some of the other, like comic conventions are more
Pop
fun
culture,
for pop.
yeah.
Yeah. It's like you collect all the collectibles. That's about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I've been really trying to find a lot of events to do. Since the last 2 years with the pandemic, a lot of things got canceled.
Yeah.
So now I'm really trying to get back out there, and I've even been doing outdoor events, which I hadn't really done before. But I got myself a little tent.
Right.
So I've been doing some outdoor events, it's always scary because you never know if it's going to be windy, rainy, or a beautiful day.
Not in the Puget Sound region.
Right. But I'm getting pretty good about, even if it's windy, like I've got things kind of, held down pretty good so they don't blow away.
You're just learning as you go.
Yeah. I mean, if people want to follow me, they can find me on social media, and I'm always talking about whatever new shows I'm doing. If you just look me up, it's just, my name is ELIWOLFF, 2 Fs. Just Google that and the word art, and you'll find, my blog, you'll find my Etsy shop, Instagram, Facebook, all that stuff.
And the people that aren't gonna be hanging with us all at Crypticon, where can people buy your stuff online?
So I've got an Etsy shop. So you just go to etsy.com/shop/Eli Wolf, and you'll find all my stuff right there.
And most of your stuff that we could find at the show will be on there.
Most of it, yeah. I don't have any originals up there currently. Every now and then I'll throw an original up there, but usually I save the originals for selling at shows or selling in shops.
Right.
Actually, speaking of shops, I forgot one of my favorite shops is called Bobocon Toys.
Okay, yeah.
People that are in the North End up by Everett, they've been really, really great to me, and they've got tons of my originals. And going to that shop, it's like a year-round comic convention in there, because they've got every kind of cool toy you can imagine. And they have a cool horror section in the back with like a life-size xenomorph from Aliens. And so I want to make sure that I give a shout out to Bobocon Toys for sure.
That's another one of them shops I need to get in and visit. It's hard to find so many cool shops in this area, and it's just hard to find time, man.
I feel really, really lucky that I just, happen to be, raised in this area. And when I started doing the art about 10 years ago, I didn't even realize there were so many cool little shops and shows happening. All I knew about was Emerald City Comic Con. That was about it.
Yeah.
So,
10 years ago, that's all there really was.
But yeah, it really seems like, over the last decade, the amount of shows and just like the internet has made it easier to connect with other artists and find out about weird shops and stuff. So.
Oh yeah, and it was social media, being able to promote yourself and everything. It made it almost sustainable for artists.
Almost, yeah. I'm not ready to quit my day job yet, but the amount of effort that I put into like my side hustle here, I think it pays off. It's always so gratifying to meet people in person and just see people really laugh at my art and say how much they enjoy it. And because I try to draw and paint every night after my day job's over for about an hour or two. And it really just adds up. You stick with it. And I always like to tell people, I'm like, hey, do you like to draw? And most people are like, well, I used to draw when I was a kid, but I don't anymore. And I'm like, if you still enjoy it, you should just try and draw a little bit every day. And next thing you know, you might have a table at one of these conventions too.
There you go. I mean, it's almost, after a long day at work, to sit down and unwind and just doodle or just do something you love doing is
Yeah.
just therapeutic.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And
Yeah.
I really try not to do too much digital, or, you know, since my day job's kind of computer stuff. So it's nice to just get a sketchbook and a pencil and just keep it simple.
Yeah, absolutely. So Crypticon later in May, we will definitely see you there. And anything you want to throw in here and add before we wrap up?
No, I feel like we pretty much covered it. Yeah, I'm always looking forward to Crypticon. I think it's probably my favorite show to do every year. I just, it's such a good group of people. You almost feel like you're at some cool like horror party. It doesn't feel like a giant, you know, convention. It's a little more intimate. Everybody there is really friendly. The cosplay is awesome. People really go to town with really cool costumes. I forget the name of it, but there was a vendor last time I was there. I think it was like a band out of Portland, and they were almost like a crazy heavy metal band, but they were all dressed up like just insane monsters. And it was just really fun to watch them interacting with people in their full makeup. You know, it was like a modern day version of like Guar or something. And, you know, it's like, where else are you going to find stuff like that at a convention? So Crypticon is just a lot of fun.
Absolutely. That's what I describe it to people as a it's like a reunion.
Yeah,
every
totally.
year. Yeah.
Yep.
See a lot of familiar faces and
yeah, and it's fun to go outside and see all the hearses.
Oh,
you know,
man,
people have all
so
the tricked out
much.
hearses. And
Everywhere in the hotel, there's, you know, there's, like you said, the hearses outside. There's panel rooms everywhere. There's you want to go upstairs and party. And
yeah,
it's
I've
wild up
always
there.
I've heard stories about all the extracurricular stuff. I've never like hung out there overnight. So
Yeah.
I come down during the day and do the show, and then I head home and pass out. But it
Right.
sounds like there's a lot of extra fun stuff going on too.
Yeah, I'm sure after being in a booth all day, you're ready to.
Yeah, it's exhausting when you're there by yourself. I don't really, because if I take a break, then I'm nervous I'm gonna, like, you know, miss meeting some people.
Yeah.
So pretty much once the doors open, I'm just kind of like in like firing on all cylinders.
Yeah.
If I go more than, you know, like 15, 20 minutes without talking to somebody, I'm like, okay, I'll take a break, get something to eat. But as soon as somebody walks up and starts talking, then I just kind of switch on to like, hey, let's talk about art.
Yeah, as soon as you sit down and start digging into your lunch back there behind the table, then
right.
people come up. Yeah.
Inevitably, you
Yeah.
take a bite of a sandwich, and then somebody comes up, and you're like, okay, I can't talk.
Yeah, and it's a good sandwich too. And you're like, oh, you just want to get back to it, but you love talking to people. So
Right,
you're like,
yeah.
all right.
Yeah. Most of the time, I hardly eat when I'm at a convention, and then by the time I get home, I'm just completely exhausted and super hungry. So
Yeah.
that's when I'll get a good pizza or something.
There you go. Grab it on the way home and
Yeah.
curl up in bed with your pizza and call it a night.
Well, yeah, these days I've been playing a ton of this new game called Elden Ring. So that's I don't know if you heard of that game, but it's my current like way to relax is playing that game.
Right. Yeah, I've never been a video game guy. I like board games and card games and stuff, but video games just never been my. People are always so surprised though, because they see, you know, big nerdy dude, and they just assume that I just play video games and like drink Mountain Dew or something all day. Like, no.
Yeah.
No, not much, but that's cool. I've heard of it. I hear of all of them because I'm constantly like researching and trying to find stuff to talk about on the show. But
yeah, that's a hard one to miss right now. A lot of people are talking about it. It's kind of like the whole thing's like a horror movie, just monsters everywhere.
Nice.
Yeah,
I could dig that.
Definitely worth looking at some YouTube videos just because it's really pretty.
I know there's a lot of hype coming out about the Evil Dead game coming out. That looks pretty cool. I don't know if you've seen any of that.
Yeah, I've seen a little bit of the footage. I'm always nervous about games based off of movies or movies based off of games. It's very rare that those turn out good.
Yeah.
I don't know why that is.
Yeah.
So hopefully whoever's making that game captures what's actually fun about the movies.
Right.
But yeah, that's always tricky. But you know, like the Resident Evil games are good, but the Resident Evil movies aren't so great.
Right.
So, and then the Evil Dead movies are great, but I think there's been some Evil Dead games before that were just kind of okay.
Right.
But hopefully this one's really good.
Awesome. All right, so before we say goodbye here, you You look for Eli Wolf everywhere on all the social medias. And is there a website too?
Yeah, I don't have like an official.com website, but
Right.
I just have a blog that I've had going since like 2012. So
Okay.
if you just look up Blogspot and then my name, again, it's ELIWOLFF. Make sure you
Okay.
get the two F's on there. And my blog's kind of a visual diary. You can actually see my entire history of making art, because I started, I think one of my first posts on there was when I did Curious George finding the Hellraiser cube.
Right.
You know, and I painted that. I don't even remember why I got the idea for that, but you know, now 10 years later, that image is still resonating with people. People have even got tattoos of that image, so that feels really good. And I'm always like trying to be like, I got to think of something as good as that again, you know, in the back of my head.
Yeah. Like Psycho Gorman getting his nails done or something.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly.
Well, before we wrap up, what's your favorite horror movie?
Oh, if I had to pick one horror movie, it would probably be Evil Dead 2. Like
Yeah.
that one is just like it's the sweet spot of, it's scary, but it's funny. Every single line that comes out of Ash's mouth is like perfect and awesome. You know, it's like completely quotable. Yeah, that movie is just great. I've even seen the Evil Dead musical a couple times, which is amazing. You know,
I heard that was fun.
Yeah, it's really fun.
Awesome.
So it's that perfect, like we talked about, horror movies that are actually fun, not just make you feel gross, but like it's actually entertaining.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like most of the 80s stuff.
Yeah,
Fun.
The 80s was such a perfect time for just ridiculous fun horror movies.
Yep. Exactly. Well, Eli, thank you for hanging out, man.
Yeah, sure.
Definitely looking forward to stuff you're producing. I love it. You see, you know, I got your stuff hanging on my wall. I'm definitely a fan of the work. So
yeah, well, it'll be great to you know, maybe I'll meet some people at Crypticon who listen to the podcast, and then we can, you know, talk even more. You know, I always love talking about horror movies, the art that I make, video games, whatever people are into. So
yeah, well, we'll have you come back on again sometime. We'll plan something. Maybe we'll all plan we'll all give ourselves some homework and we'll watch a movie, and then we'll have a discussion about it or something.
Oh, that could be
That'd
cool.
be cool. Yeah. All right, man. Well, hey, thank
right.
you.
Sure. Talk to you later.
We are back on our Crypticon preview. You guys just heard from Eli Wolf. He will be there all 3 days at Crypticon. Make sure you guys check him out. Tell him Steven Crypto sent you. I mean, there won't be no reward or nothing, but tell him that we sent you anyways. And of course, if you see us at the show, come say hi, and we'll have stickers and shit, and we'll leave stuff all over the convention for you to pick up. And we definitely want to meet people. If you're listening, we want to meet you. We're not literally leaving shit for you.
I know.
It's like we're just gonna walk our dogs around the hotel lobby and let them shit all over the place so you can pick
we got stickers and shit. We're just gonna lay out all through the venue. Like, oh, we're just gonna leave a nasty trail.
I say shit a lot.
They're not gonna want us there
shit
anymore.
I mean, like our promo materials. How about that? We're gonna leave stickers and promotional materials around.
Oh, you're saying our promo materials are shit now? Is that what you're saying?
Yes. No, I'm saying we're shit, but our promo materials are really nice. We have nice promo materials. We just suck. Well, yeah, Crypticon, man. There's a lot of cool guests this year. I know last year was my year, but I think this year we have quite a few cool guests. I know I think the guest of honor is probably say Cassandra Peterson.
Yeah.
Who is better known as Elvira. She's you know, probably at one of the highest levels of her popularity after releasing that book and all kinds of stuff. She's of course popular. She'll be there signing stuff. I know she's not doing selfies and stuff because, you know, COVID issues, and she's a little bit older. And, but she's meeting everybody and signing stuff. So make sure you come see her. She was supposed to be there last year and canceled because of COVID.
Yeah, so she's back for a little redemption. You know, you may not be able to be that close with her, but like you said, you can get, you know, an autograph and whatnot. You can go listen to her panel or an interview. She's going to be having hers on Sunday at 1:00 if you're around.
So I'll probably be missing it because unfortunately though Steve Strout's not making it to Crypticon Sunday. Another cool guest is Bill Moseley, who we know from like every freaking Rob Zombie movie and
Yep.
Texas
Honey, I Blew Up
Chainsaw
the
2.
Kid.
Been in a lot of stuff. He's, a horror icon.
Yeah.
Do we know when his panel is?
Yeah, he is also going to be on Sunday, and it's right after Elvira. Damn. He's having his at 2. I know. You better figure out how to get there on Sunday, man.
We'll see. We'll see.
We should make it happen.
We'll try.
Because both days are looking pretty good for panels. You want me to let you know what's going down?
Well, we'll run through that in a second. I just want to mention a couple more guests of note. Dana DiLorenzo from Ash vs. Evil Dead. And I think she does voice work and stuff on the game, if I'm not mistaken. She's going to be there. There's going to be a whole, quite a few people from the Chucky series and from the Child's Play movies. We got Christina Lees, Alex Vincent, Fiona Dourif, who are all main characters on that awesome Chucky series that we got in the last year.
Yeah.
Hopefully they come with some hints or clues about what we're going to get in the second season and maybe when or any of that info. What else we got? We got John Casser, Crypt Keeper voice.
That's right.
Roger Jackson, the voice of Ghostface.
Also Mojo Jojo.
Yeah, I don't care about that. But that's cool. I'm sure some people here. I know you're a Powerpuff Girl kind of guy.
I wouldn't say I'm like a fanatic, but I mean, I watched it here and there when I was a kid. Yeah.
Eugene Clark, he's a regular at Crypticon. He was the Big Daddy zombie in Land of the Dead. The Romero movie. That was cool.
He's the one that gets the jackhammer, right?
Yep, and the gun.
Yeah.
Later on. The Kyoto brothers who did
Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Yeah, I don't know why my brain just went blank, but
did they do Critters as well?
I think they worked on Critters.
Yeah.
What else we got? What other panels? When's the Child's Play panels?
All right, so Saturday is pretty much all the Child's Play stuff. Before that, I'll mention the first one that comes up on Saturday, which is Dana DiLorenzo, who is Kelly from Ash vs. Evil Dead. Her panel's at 1:00. Then we move on to Child's Play. Fiona Dourif has her own panel at 2. And then there's a Child's Play 2 interview or panel with Alex Vincent and Christina Lees, and that's at 3.
I'm surprised there's not a panel with the three of them together for the Chucky series. That's weird.
It doesn't really make any sense. Maybe they just need to
that's
fill
the thing right now.
They need to fill an hour or something, but I mean, I feel like they could have Fiona and Alex and Christine all in the same one.
Yeah.
They all work together. And then John Kazar, the Crypt Keeper, he is at 4:00, and the Kyoto brothers are at 6. And then Sunday, a little earlier, Roger Jackson is at 12. Elvira is at 1, as I mentioned earlier. Bill Moseley has a panel at 2. And Noah Hathaway, who is Atreyu from The Neverending Story, has a panel at 3.
He's also in Battlestar Galactica. But man, there's those panels, just the celebrity panels. And there's a ton of other panels. There's always panels about filmmakers. There's panels about writers. There's
visual effects and things like that.
There's last year they did a solid panel about horror hosting movies and yeah, man, they're just everything. You can look up CrypticonSeattle.com and you could go through and see all the programming and all the panels and stuff going on. There's all kinds of stuff. They usually have an awesome costume and cosplay contest, and horror fans are super into it and talented and creative, so there's always some good costumes.
I have a friend that I used to play in a band with. He's interested in going because of that side of the event. He wants to see costumes, or he wants to he's definitely into the cosplay. I could see him showing up in costume, but that, like, you know, the panels and the celebrities, like, that's cool, but I think he's more interested in the art side of it, which is awesome.
Yeah,
so what I'm trying to say is they definitely have plenty of that out there for anybody else who is into that side of it. And if you're into, like, you know, how movies are made and the practical effects and all that, this is a place to go and connect with people that are into that sort of thing.
Usually all week they do have a great like a makeup contest. They usually have demos going on all weekend of people applying, you know, putting on appliances and doing makeups and stuff, like, all weekend.
Yeah, I might have mentioned it on the. Oh, I'm sorry. Go.
Good. I was gonna say they have that nonstop. There's going to be a whole nother room full of artists separate than the vendors. So we're going to get more artists this year.
Yeah, the convention is growing.
It's definitely growing, and it's awesome. It's just a good show. You were going to throw something in there? Yeah,
so I might have mentioned it on the last episode or something, but I remember last year we were walking around the main room, and, you know, there's a guy that's applying makeup to this girl who's in a big dress, like a bridal dress, and you keep making the laps, you know, and each time you're seeing it get better and better. And finally, by the end, she was a deadite bride. And I thought I heard something, or maybe saw her later with something that indicated that she had won the costume contest.
They didn't even have one last year because
they didn't.
The lack of not enough people signed up for it because, you know, COVID stuff, and nobody was sure what the, you know, if they could wear costumes or with masks and this and that. So they do have a makeup contest, so it's probably part of that.
Yeah, and it was a while ago, so we, you know, might have just been like some of us talking like she, you know, probably could have won. Yeah. Maybe it was that, but
right.
Yeah, I mean, if, you know, if you're into the creative side of horror, there's something for you there. If you just want to go and buy some merch and some, you know,
toys and
shirts
collectibles,
yeah, there's a lot of that for you as well.
When we mentioned artists and stuff, why don't we introduce listeners to our next featured guest on here, who's going to be at Crypticon. She runs a company called Morbid Hearts Design, and she came to tell us about her work and where to find her online. So like I said, if you can't make Crypticon, these people are online and you can support them online. You could get their art and all that good stuff.
Yep. Angela has some great work too. You know, she I remember buying a few things from her last year, and I'll probably end up getting some things this year too. So yeah, if you can go, or if you can't, either way, check out what these people have, you know, and I hope you enjoy this interview. Hello, welcome to the Steve and Crypto Show. We are sitting here talking with Angela from Morbid Heart Designs. We are discussing this year's Crypticon and the fact that she will be there at booth, which number?
I will be at booth 230 in the artist area.
There we go.
The main area, the big room.
They're actually doing a second room for artists.
Are they?
So there's going to be 2 rooms. So there's going to be the big vendor hall, and then artists are going to be in a separate room.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
That's neat.
Makes more room for other people to join in and share what they create. So it's exciting.
Yeah. For sure.
So how many years have you done this now?
I started my company Morbid Heart Designs in 2017. And I actually had a Facebook post come up and be like, hey, remember this? And it was my goal for 2018 that I actually put, I'll get into Crypticon. I did not get into Crypticon that year, but I did 2019. So I still count, I made that goal.
Most of my goals that pop up are like stuff I'm ashamed of. And like, oh yeah, I remember that. Don't remind me, Facebook. Like, yeah. Your art.
Yes.
Obviously people can't see it on our audio podcast, but describe it.
I do a lot of different styles. I'm very eclectic. My name comes from my eclecticness. I like rainbows and I like death. So sometimes I do dark black and white things, and other times I do cutesy horror with bright colors, and sometimes I do murdered teddy bears. So
they all go hand in hand.
they do. They're me. And one thing I love about what I create is I put myself into every piece, and I do think that it comes through very effectively. I let my inner child come out, and I see other people's inner child come out when they see a piece that they like, and their eyes light up in such a fun way that it's like, yes, I'm doing something right.
That's kind of cool. It's got to feel good because, like you say, you put a lot of you into it and your personality and stuff. And if for people to come along and really like the work and buy it, it's like, wow, they really like me. You know what I mean?
It feels good. I won't deny it. It's its own kind of a high.
Yeah. I can imagine. If I had skills, I would understand.
People like your podcast. It's the same thing.
Yeah,
how do you feel people like, I love your podcast?
I don't know yet. I haven't gotten that one yet.
Well, I like your podcast.
Well, that feels really good.
Yeah,
that feels good.
It doesn't happen quite too often, but you probably get that feeling, meeting with people and interacting at conventions.
Yes, definitely. Meeting people at conventions is by far one of my favorite things about my job.
Do you see a lot of regular, like repeat customers and followers coming back at different shows and venues?
A handful. Yeah. But I do so many different events that there's not sometimes a lot of crossover. Right. A lot of the time it's a matter of convenience, a low booth fee or free fee, and they happen to be in the area. I have some really awesome Patreons who come to a lot of events. But I do cons. I used to do a lot of Comic-Cons. I'm kind of weaning out of that, but I'm focusing more on horror conventions and spiritual, metaphysical type events. So there's not a lot of crossover. So it's been an interesting shift.
What draws you to Crypticon? Like, why do you feel your stuff resonate?
I'm a horror movie junkie. I feel like, and I'm weird. I used to be heavily goth. So there's a lot of dark clothing and just like the aesthetic that I love that I never go out being an artist. So I don't have a reason to dress up the way I used to. But I feel like I'm at home, like I'm with my peeps.
Yeah.
The fact that I like darker things in horror movies isn't a taboo thing. It's just like everybody's there because they love it.
Yeah. Do you, when you're at Crypticon or like these horror type conventions, how hard is it to just stay behind your table?
It's so hard. And this is actually going to be a lot harder. I know a lot of horror YouTubers are going to be at the convention this year. And I'm like, oh my God, I want to go hang out with you guys so bad. But I'm like, I got to work.
Yeah, you got to.
I got to work. So I'm hoping to actually see them. But I know some of them are doing panels, so they're going to be busy too. But it's like, I want to go play.
You want to go play and meet these people. Now, referring to the other vendors and things that are available for sale, do you have that struggle where you're like, you're there because you're trying to make some money, of course, and push your art, but like, does part of you want to just go and venture out and buy things too? And
all the time. I'm a sticker junkie, so I'll usually cave in for stickers. Yep. But it's like there's like an individual who makes coffin shells who's going to be there, and I really want some.
Ooh, yeah.
I have a lot of friends who do creative like sculpting or repurposing of dolls to make them creepy. So it's like I want to go see because they're one of a kind too. So it's like if I don't grab what I like, it's not guaranteed to be there. So those things are really hard. But it's like, okay, I am here to make money.
Right.
Gotta reel it in. But stickers, I'll usually cave in for stickers.
I couldn't imagine being stuck. I couldn't imagine being stuck directly across from like the perfect vendor. Sit there the whole day staring.
It sucks. No, it's a whole weekend.
Yeah.
And I will usually end up caving in on those ones that I'm staring at all weekend. Yeah. I'll go in with the intent of not buying anything, and then I'm just like, I've been looking at you for 3 days or 2 days. It's like you're coming home with me.
You have to. Now. After 3 days of staring at it, you kind of have to own it.
Yeah, it's kind of like, all right, it's speaking to me and it's still speaking to me. So I justify it and it's resonating in my artistic soul in some capacity.
Yep.
It's got to go home.
You make that deal with yourself. Like, all right, if nobody else picks you up by day 3, you're mine.
They're day 3.
Yeah.
And then like by that point, you're like, you were meant for me. This is meant to be here. Like you were supposed to come home with me.
Like the end of Saturday, if it's still there, or even halfway through Saturday.
It's like that stray cat that keeps coming on your back porch, and you start feeding it, and then you just
and then
eventually
it doesn't
it's
come
yours.
by, and you're concerned
Yeah.
greatly because you love that thing.
Or if you let it go, and that's why you have to buy you see something you like, just buy it. That's it.
Steve said I could.
There you go. Just go tell him, Steve. Steve from Steve and Crypto Show. He said I should buy this.
If husband's like, "Why'd you do it?" I'll be like, "Steve said I could."
Yeah.
Damn, and any Steve. Vendor's gonna be like, "Okay, thanks, Steve."
we're just gonna start getting bad show reviews from like husbands and stuff. Like,
don't tell him to spend all the money.
Yep. I was gonna send you money on Patreon, but you made my wife spend it all at so you're out of luck, pal.
It went to somebody else, some other person.
Yeah.
She bought a vendor out of all their comics.
Yep. So at Crypticon, what kind of stuff are you gonna bring personally? You have anything exciting or like exclusive set up for the con?
I am currently debating about doing a raffle of an original. I haven't decided what originals might be an option. My life's been hectic, and I'm like, I've got to decide this week. But I am gonna do it. I'm gonna give away an original. I'm not sure which one's gonna be raffled off, and what the minimum purchase for entry would be. And the life is crazy, and that might be a crazy thing to do, but it feels like that's what I want to do. So.
But just think, somebody will win it, and you'll be sharing your art.
It's like giving a kid away. Like when people buy my originals or any of my art, I'm always like, thanks for adopting my art, because like I said, I put myself into everything.
Right.
It probably sounds silly, but
no. Just think of the joy that it's going to bring somebody else, though.
That's what
what about people that can't afford original art or something?
I have prints, and as a sticker junkie, I have stickers. Stickers are my favorite thing to make. I didn't get them done for Crypticon, but I've been working on Monster Alphabet. I have X, Y, and Z to finish.
Right.
But they're these cute monster alphabets that unfortunately aren't done, but will be done soon.
That's cool.
That's awesome. I always.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Well, you were going to say something that's probably like
related,
continuing that. Yeah. So go ahead.
Yeah. I've been thinking for a long time about doing, like a little kid's book, when it's like, A is for this, B is for that, but do it with monsters.
That's might be in the works too. It's a multifaceted project.
Okay.
Stickers.
Well, I'll leave it to you then,
cards,
because I'm not an artist.
A coloring book. And I'm not a word artist, so I don't know how to even go about writing a book. But I think I could do A is for alien.
Yeah, something along them lines, and just turn it into a cute little kid's book.
Yeah. Or an adult kid's book. That's a thing. Did you know that's a thing? Oh my God, it's a fabulous thing.
I know I'm an adult kid, so.
Me too.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been obsessed with Pokemon Go for the past month. Like, it's kind of.
I go through phases. I go through phases with it.
It's been since like 2017 since I played, so I think another month and then it will start to be like not so new anymore, but I had to start over. So it's like playing for the first time, but it's even better. So
that's cool. They probably updated it quite a bit.
Oh, it's so different. So different. I love it.
Very different. Yeah. There's so much more to it. It's they're doing a good job keeping people interested.
I don't think I've even played since having kids, but I do miss playing. I mean, I've been playing like one on the Switch, totally different Pokemon
this
Go.
This is the one on your phone, and it's like.
Oh, I know.
I get bored, and I'm like, how many Pokestops are here?
Yep.
Who can I catch? Who do I need?
All of them. Got to catch them all.
Yeah.
It was fun playing that for the first time in a bar, and then like you turn it towards the bar top, and like there's a Squirtle like standing right there next to you, and
that's amazing.
People who are not into it, they're just like, what?
Yeah. I've had this awesome luck where I keep getting ones that have a CP of 666, so now I have the 666 squad. And I've actually gone through some of them, and if I could upgrade them to 666, like I'm saving all of them that I've checked.
Yeah.
That's good. Well, let's back
Totally
to
like a different
Yeah.
conversation.
We went a
I'm
different
so
way,
sorry.
Going back to you and your art, I wanted to ask, do you have a favorite piece just out of everything that you've done over the years? Do you have something that you could possibly describe to the listeners now? Something that is really special to you?
That is a hard one to give a solid answer on. It does change. But the most consistent one I would think is actually this snail that I did who has a skull on his shell. He pimped his ride. I love him. And the original was adopted, and it was just, I actually ran into her a few weeks ago. Her husband bought it as a birthday gift, and she's like, I love it. And I actually need the sticker because my kid keeps stealing the water bottle that the sticker's on of the original. So she bought a sticker to give to her son so he doesn't keep taking the water bottle. And I was just like, oh my God. That happening so recently was like, no, I still really love that piece.
That's cool. That sounds like a neat one.
That's cool. I totally lost my train of thought. I'm gonna have to do some editing here.
Well, I wanted to ask you about something. It's a little farther away in the future, but here on this podcast, we love Halloween. We pretty much celebrate Halloween all year round. I noticed that you have a haunted house paint along coming up October 18th.
I do.
At the Everett Mall.
Yes. Once a month currently at the Everett Mall, I'm designing and hosting different paint alongs. You can find them on my website, morbidheartdesigns.com. And I had a special request from a regular participant who said, I want to do a haunted house. And I was like, we're making that happen for Halloween. So the sample is on my website if you want to go see it and what other events are scheduled. I'm hoping to go to a point where I can do them twice a month, but there's other things in the works, growing businesses and aspects. So we'll see when that happens, but definitely
Cool.
Check it out now and in the future because every month's going to be something different.
Awesome. So everybody who is listening that isn't going to be at Crypticon with us, they can get a lot of your stuff online, correct?
Yes.
And that's at morbidheartdesigns.com.
Yes.
Is there is that the best place to follow your events and everything, or do you have like a good social media presence where they could follow you, or you'd like them to follow you?
You can definitely follow me on Instagram. I'm probably going to be deleting my Twitter at the end of the month, subject to lots of things, but highly probable with the way things are going with that platform. So Instagram, especially since I'm a visual artist, is the best place because that's where you see a lot of the pictures better. But all my links to whatever social platform you might be interested on are on my website. And my events, I have an event tab if you want to see what's coming up and what's scheduled as well.
After Crypticon.
Mm-hmm.
Crypticon is most important right now.
Yes,
that's
so
like
excited.
our yearly horror nerd reunion.
We need more horror conventions up here, but also Crypticon's awesome. So
yeah, I love it. It's always good. Is there anything you want to throw out there or add before we let you back to your day?
I appreciate you asking me to be here and giving artists and other creatives a platform to share what they do. And I look forward to seeing you at Crypticon.
Yeah, it's
going
to be a blast.
We sure hope to be there.
And happy Friday the 13th, because it's Friday the 13th.
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
Friday the 13th.
Friday the 13th.
And do you have any Friday the 13th pieces before you run?
I actually do. This is the first Friday the 13th that I'm not doing one, but I have Happy Friday the 13th cards.
Cool.
I try to do a new design every year, but like I said earlier, life's been a little hectic, so it had not happened. But they're on my website.
They're on the website?
There's a search engine. Perfect. You can just put Friday the 13th and it should pop up.
I'm going to check them out as soon as we get off here.
Plan on watching any of the Jason movies on Friday?
No, in the past, I've done a 13-hour stream. This year, I'm not doing it, but I might go see Doctor Strange because I haven't had a chance to go see it. And I think that one's inappropriate because I heard it's really dark and very horror-esque. So I'm like, no, this will work for Friday the 13th.
It's definitely got some themes.
Option.
Yep, that's a good option.
It's a good one.
What about you?
I don't know. I might watch one of the old Jason movies. I haven't really done that in a while. So
perfect time.
Yeah.
Work and Friday nights for me are reserved for Joe Bob Briggs.
That's acceptable too.
Maybe Joe Bob will play a Friday the 13th.
I don't think
movie.
he will. I think the rights are going to be too tricky to get.
You don't think he could pull some strings and get that?
Some of them are on Amazon Prime. Just saying.
Yeah.
Not
I don't
the
think
original.
I don't think any are on Shudder though, which is where he would have to pick from.
That's true.
Oh,
I
yeah.
have to double check.
Yeah.
I don't know. Shudder has an awesome rate of change for things. I'm Googling it right now. We're pulling up Shudder.
They're constantly changing and adding new stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, happy Friday the 13th. Happy almost Crypticon. We will see you there. Make sure if you guys go to Crypticon, stop by the Morbid Heart Designs booth. And 230.
There you go.
In the artist room. Now there's an artist room, which is pretty exciting. That means more art and more stuff for me to buy.
More temptations for me too.
Yeah. Temptations all around. All right. Well, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
We all love a good ghost story, but have you ever wondered how it came to be?
Have you ever wanted to dig deeper into the true history of your favorite stories of the macabre?
How about whether or not it really went down that way?
Join us bi-weekly on Ghoulish Tendencies podcast, where we, two paranormal investigators, delve into the depths of the famous and not so famous cases of murder, ghosts, legends, and lore, with a healthy dose of debunking.
I'm Gabby, the resident Mulder.
And I'm Kim, the resident Scully.
And we're your ghostesses of Ghoulish Tendencies podcast, found wherever you listen to podcasts. Stay spooky.
All right. Thank you to Angela for popping in, telling us about Morbid Hearts Designs. Another fun fact is we always talk about the community and the horror community, and especially locally. She's actually one of our supporters. She's you know what I mean? She's a follower of our show and she enjoys our show. She was super hyped to come on. Not as much as we were excited to have her on here, but
yeah,
it's good to know that like other creative people are appreciating what we're trying to do too.
Yeah.
Which is cool. But yeah, back to Crypticon. What are you excited for?
Well,
besides the police running through my neighborhood.
It's funny that you said like last year was your year. It almost kind of feels like this year is my year. There's a lot of guests that I really want to see. I know there's a couple that you're interested in as well.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But last year Joe Bob Briggs was a big one for you.
Yeah, definitely Joe Bob. I was like beyond excited to meet him. This year, of course, Elvira would be my number one guest to meet. I've met her before a couple times. Super sweet. Sadly, COVID stuff, it's going to be hard to, get a selfie or anything with her. But I think I might go and get one of my Funko Pop signed.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
That would be good. I have one I need to get signed as well.
I got myself on a budget this year, but I kind of feel like I need an Elvira signed pop.
I'm also on a budget this year, but Elvira signed pop would be good. I'm looking at the pop that I'm going to get signed right now, and that would be Ghostface. I have one from 2014. It's been a grail for a long time, and a grail for anybody listening just means it's been like vaulted, and you can't find it anywhere.
And it's valuable. Yeah,
it's valuable. Last I checked, it was around 200, I think 250, something like that.
Then you got to get it signed, and you got to get it signed, and then it's going to be worth $40. And you deface it. No, get it signed, get it authenticated.
Yeah. I'm really excited. As I mentioned, Scream. I'm excited to meet Roger Jackson. I'm excited to meet Bill Moseley, of course. I mean, he was the first guest mentioned for this event. But really, I think the top one that I'm looking forward to is a group of three, and that's the Chucky cast.
Say a group of three. I thought you were going to say the Kyoto brothers, but okay.
I think there's only two of them, right?
I think there's three of them. I don't fucking know. Whatever. The Chucky cast. I get it. I figured. I knew you were getting to the Chucky cast. I know Chucky's.
That's my jam. So I was pretty excited when I found out they were coming. I'm happy that these three are going to be there. I was kind of hopeful that maybe Fiona would talk her dad into coming along with her. but hey, this is still great, and I'm looking forward to meeting them. And John Kazar, if we get a chance, it'd be great to talk to him for a moment. Dana DiLorenzo from Ash vs. Evil Dead. I mean, we'll see what happens in the day. But
it's a bunch of cool cast. Hopefully,
yeah.
I'd like to get maybe some of these folks to pop in and say hi to our listeners. That could be cool.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. You never know.
Yep.
You never know. But yeah, that's exciting, man. I knew as soon as they started announcing Chucky cast, you'd be hyped for it. So.
Yeah, last year was cool, but there weren't quite as many people that I was excited to meet, other than David Naughton from An American Werewolf in London, which I did meet him, and I managed to get a print from a guy that I met there at a booth, and then I had David sign it, and we talked for a minute, and I even asked him about coming on the show, and he said he had some time the next day, but I was only there on Saturday. I think you were only there on Saturday as well, right? Or
we left really early Sunday.
That's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't have time. Wasn't really even prepared for anything. Sadly, we're coming prepared this year. So
yeah, we'll be prepared. And, we may or may not already have reached out to somebody. So
we'll see.
We'll see what happens. Yeah.
We do have one more guest joining us to tell us about their stuff. This one is a shop called Unlock the Con. It's basically, their shop is basically like a nerd convention.
Yeah,
they have guests at the shop, celebrities signing autographs, they have all the merch and collectibles and toys, and it's just a cool place. They're good people. We've known them since they started. Like, one of their earliest shows that they did was the comic book swap meet, which is our little mini con that we put on up here in our neck of the woods. But we have Chris from Unlock the Con. He's one of the managers there, to come on and tell us about what they offer, what they're going to be bringing to Crypticon, and about a little special guest that they're somebody we already named, but telling us that they are sponsoring this guest, their parents, and they're going to be at their booth all weekend. And it's somebody that we're both definitely looking forward to meeting, and hoping to use our pool with Unlock the Con to get a few minutes with this guest. We'll see. We'll try. So Unlock the Con, if you're listening, listening,
we love you guys.
We're good buddies. Yeah. Hey, buddy. Hey, guys.
Hey.
Okay, but yeah, meet Chris from Unlock the Con. And when we get back from this little chat, we are going to do our weekly horror trivia, and then we'll say goodbye until next week.
I'm Mr. Lobo of Cinema Insomnia, and you're listening to the Steve and Crypto Show. Or are you?
Hey, we're on the Steve and Crypto Show, and we are doing some promo for some of the vendors and guests and the creators and stuff that are going to be at Crypticon, because of course that's our local horror convention, and that's our thing, and it's our favorite show every year. So we like to spotlight a few of the guests. So we are going to introduce you guys to Chris from Unlock the Con. It's a great I believe they started, I will have him tell the story, but I think they started doing shows and then they actually opened a shop. Let's just jump right in. Tell us the story of how Unlock the Con started and how it grew and what you guys do.
Yeah. So I'm Chris. I'm the store manager at Unlock the Con in Auburn, Washington. And Barry and Ashley are the owners. It did start off as just being a going to conventions and doing stuff like that, because we were all into Comic Cons and all things like that. And when COVID happened, convention stopped. So it was all out of Barry and Ashley's garage. And then they were able to find a option to be able to open up a storefront in the mall. And we have just been rocking and rolling since then, just growing, getting bigger spaces, opening new locations, all sorts of fun stuff. So
nice. So you guys, when I first met Barry and started dealing with him, like his main thing was collectibles like Funko Pops and stuff. I'm sure that's still a big it's a featured item at the shop, but now you guys have grown to bringing in guests like celebrities and everything in the shop.
Yes. So we usually bring in a guest just about every month. But this month we've actually got pretty much every weekend we have a new guest for all of May. So yeah, like this last weekend we had the Land of the Lost cast from the 70s. And this weekend we've got Mick Wingert and Colleen O'Shanahay. I believe that's how you say the last name. So like voice of Tails from Sonic, and Mick does the voice of like Iron Man and stuff like that from the cartoon series, and he's done like Poe from Kung Fu Panda that's not Jack Black. And then obviously, you know, next weekend we're going to be at Crypticon. So we're actually going to have Roger L. Jackson at our booth there. So he's the voice of Ghostface from Scream. So, which is super cool. So
yeah, that's a good guest for this year's Crypticon, you know, considering the Scream movie just came out a couple months ago and did really
very
well.
Fitting.
And was he, Crypto might know, was he the voice through all the movies?
I believe he's the voice in all of the movies. Yes.
Right.
Now, if you talk about the show, I don't think he did the voice for the first 2 seasons, which is one reason why I did not watch the first 2 seasons.
Yeah, but the show don't matter.
Well, season 3 came on, and I believe that's when they announced that he was doing the voice, and they got the original mask back because the mask looked different for the first 2 seasons.
Oh, did it?
I wasn't really into it. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
That's cool, man. So what kind of stuff are you guys going to bring to Crypticon?
So we have all sorts of different things horror based. So we've got a whole section that's dedicated to horror in the shop. So we're going to bring a ton of cool things like that. We're going to have some I know we're going to have some Mojo Jojo Pops because he's also the voice of Mojo Jojo. So we're going to do some cool ones for that, for autographs with him. And I know that he said he's going to bring some exclusive stuff from his personal collection that we will have at the booth as well. And then I think we're going to have some cool exclusive art pieces as well. So.
Oh, nice. Are you guys going to bring any stuff related to any of the other guests?
We'll have some other we always try to bring stuff. The only some of them are harder to get, so we try our best to bring stuff related to the guests that'll be there. So we are definitely like trying to and bringing as much as we can, but we try to bring a sample of all the things we have in the shop, which we do have a variety of just about everything. So
I had a quick question. Those Ghostface Pops are pretty hard to get these days.
Oh,
do you guys actually have? I mean, I have my original one I've never gotten rid of. It's in storage, and I'm going to probably break it out so I can have Roger sign it. Are you guys bringing any? Have you accumulated any Ghostface Pops?
Barry was able to get one for himself. We're still trying to bring. We're trying our best to pull some strings and see if we can get a couple that we'll be able to have if someone is lucky enough to be able to come up and be like, yeah, we've got a Ghostface, like that's the one to buy and get signed. But they're very hard to come by. The prices have skyrocketed since the new movie came out. I was trying to get one for myself, and I'm just like, I don't know if I can pull the trigger.
I'm not that big a fan.
Yeah. Right. I am.
You guys also have online sales?
We do, yes. So we've got our just unlockthecon.com. We've got some really cool things available on there. It's not as much as all the stuff we have in the store because we get new stuff every day. We get stuff directly from the manufacturer, and then people sell stuff to us as well. So that's how we get older, harder to find stuff like Ghost Faces if it comes in, So we're putting up some autograph and horror themed things for Crypticon as well for people that can't make it to the show. So then everybody gets a chance to get something.
Right. Do you guys do any I'll see a lot of like companies doing private signings and stuff. Do you guys do any, like, if you have a guest, if I know you have a guest coming next month, would you guys do, like, can I pre-order and do like a mail order autograph or something?
Yeah, so if you're unable to make it to the event, we do take in mail-in orders, or if you're local, you can also drop it off if you can't make it to an event. And you just drop it off. We have just a small like drop-off fee and stuff like that. And then you can just pick it up after the event, or we can mail it back to you.
Right. That's cool. So you said unlockthecon.com.
Yep, unlockthecon.com.
And do you guys have any social media presence or anything where people could follow and keep up on all the latest shows and events?
Yes, we are on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Just Unlock the Con.
Cool, man. It's exciting. I think this is you guys' first time at Crypticon, if I'm not mistaken.
It is, yes.
It is. This is a fun show. You guys are in for a treat.
Yeah, it's gonna be
lots of very passionate people that like to collect stuff, and it's mostly more grown-up people that have money that like to spend money. So that's
all right.
That's good for a businessman, but
yes,
yeah.
No, but I know Unlock the Con carries cool shit, and I'm excited to see what you guys bring, because I'm one of those grown-ups that wants to spend money on toys. So
oh yeah, it's gonna be exciting. We're, like I said, we're gonna try to get some really cool stuff, and hopefully we will have a couple Ghostface available. But like I said, they're hard to come by. We're trying. Yeah. We're trying, because that would be the mega grail right there for sure.
Yeah. Well, one last thing before we wrap it up here. About Roger, I don't know how much info you have, but is he going to be there the whole weekend with you guys?
He's going to be there all 3 days. Yes.
All 3 days.
And we're also going to have JSA at our booth as well. So if you're getting anything signed by anybody there, you can stop by our booth and they'll be able to authenticate it for you as well.
That's good. If you get your Ghostface signed, you better get it authenticated, or
exactly.
Yes. Especially a pop that valuable. Yeah.
Yes.
I'm definitely going to be doing so.
For sure. Is he going to be doing, I've seen at cons and stuff, he'll for like a small fee, he'll do like voicemails and stuff for people. Is he going to be doing any of that?
I'm not 100% sure, but I think that was the initial plan. Yes.
Awesome. Right on. Cool. Well, Chris, we thank you for popping in. And is there anything you want to add, or any messages you want to throw out here to people listening?
No, just I am excited to see you guys at the show.
Awesome. Yeah, we're looking forward to going and looking forward to seeing you guys there. I know you're going to have fun. And for anybody who is listening, if you whether you're going to Crypticon or not, I highly recommend you guys go out to Auburn and head to the mall, check out Unlock the Con. I've been there a couple times myself. We've pretty much gone to the mall just to go to your store. So I definitely,
we're like 2 hours away. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Man, yes.
So we're a dedicated family of pop collectors here. And so I highly recommend anybody out there, if you're a collector, if your kids are into them or whatever, go check it out. There's something there for everybody.
And of course, the online sales. A lot of our listeners aren't here, but they still like to buy stuff, and they could always call Chris. They could reach out to Barry, and you guys are usually pretty good at finding shit too. So
yes.
Right on. Well, cool, man. Thank you for chatting with us, and
of course, thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, thanks for your time, man. We'll hopefully see you there.
Yes.
Hey, this is Dr. Gangrene. You're watching the Steve. No, you're not. You're listening to the Steve and Crypto Show right here on whatever network you're on. I don't know what you're on. Don't ask me. I can't see what you're doing, but keep listening and tune in next week for more cool content on the Steve and Crypto Show.
Alrighty, we are back. That's pretty cool. They're gonna have Roger Jackson at their booth all weekend.
Yeah.
Make sure you guys go see him. Make sure if you get your Ghostface signed, you get it freaking authenticated.
I definitely will. And
you have to.
Well, yeah. I mean, they're going to have the guy right there at their booth, right? I mean, that's what Chris was just saying. So, and again, like we have said, all 3 of these people we featured on this episode today, or all 3 of these companies, they they have merchandise available online right now. So again, even if you can't make it to Crypticon, you can still go to unlockthecon.com. You can go to their store if you're somewhat local. They're in the Auburn area. It's a great place. I mean, I've gone out to that mall basically just to go to that store. So, and like we were saying at the beginning, they have some great people coming through for interviews and signings and all that. They just had the voice of Tails last weekend. I know Chris just mentioned that.
From Sonic, right?
Yes, Tails from Sonic. I should elaborate. And from the photos that I saw, it looked like it was pretty fun. It looked like a good little turnout.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
All these people are, like I said, they have availability online, so you could get their stuff. If you look through the list of vendors at Crypticon, the majority of them probably have online sales too. So you scroll through and see something that looks cool, or look on the Crypticon social media pages, and they're posting guests and vendors and stuff. You might see something that looks cool to you. Like I said, if you can't make it, hopefully you're going to be there. But I'm sure people aren't traveling from all over there will be people traveling from all over the country, but I'm sure not. Most of the people there are going to be Northwest people.
Yeah.
Because at this point, it's pretty cool that there's horror cons popping up like all over the country, which is awesome. Seeing our genre blowing up like this, and lots of great guests visiting everywhere. And it's good for the fans. And like I said, good for the whole genre. Yeah. So track these people down. Go support them. They're all, small businesses, working artists, creators, writers, whatnot. It's a struggle because most of us people creating stuff aren't really paying our bills with it.
Yeah.
We all have day jobs.
We're working on it. We're all trying to get to that point, aren't we?
Maybe, but I'm just enjoying doing this and meeting people. But like I said, artists who's paying money to do a booth at a convention, they pay quite a bit of money. So support them.
Yeah.
Make it worth their while. It motivates them to create more, and
it motivates them to want to come back next year.
And who doesn't want cool art on their walls and collectibles, and who don't like to read a good spooky book or watch a fucked up indie horror movie, or good or bad? You know what I mean?
Maybe if you have lame taste.
Yeah. But honestly, if they're listening to us, I can't even talk. Right? I turned on my Mike Tyson impression. If you're listening to us. But if you're listening to us, you got good fucking taste. And that's that. What I say? Trivia. We have trivia.
Yeah, let's get to it.
Let's go with who is the actual father in the movie Rosemary's Baby. Remember that crazy movie? They just did a really good episode of cursed films on Shudder about that.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. A lot of weird, crazy connections. So like they try to connect it to like the Manson family and stuff. It was nutty. Have you watched any of those, the cursed films series?
I've been meaning to. I have so many things that I plan to get to, and yeah.
They did a Wizard of Oz, which was like a lot of fucked up shit happened on there. Like they think like one of the Munchkins like hung himself in the background, and
oh shit.
Like I think it was like the Tin Man, like the makeup they were using was like poisoning him, and he was getting really sick and fucked up, and all kinds of crazy stuff.
Is there one? I mean, it's kind of an obvious one everybody knows about. They know some bad shit went down, but is there one about the Crow?
Was there in the first season? There might have been. I don't remember.
I'd like to learn a little bit more about that background with that film. So I will look that up. Yeah, I'll check it out later.
Look it up. But yeah, that's the trivia question. Who is the actual father in the movie Rosemary's Baby? So if you know the answer, message one of us. We'll send you some stickers and put you on a list. Once we compile a list of more than 2 people, we'll do a drawing and give away a good prize. So do it. Message one of us on social media, or send a message to the Facebook group. If you're going to be at Crypticon and you see us, say, hey, motherfucker, I know the answer.
That's right. We'll give you a sticker.
Tell us the answer and we'll give you a sticker, and you'll probably get a high five if we see you in person. And just say hi. Say hi and we'll give you stuff.
Yep.
But yeah, man. Crypticon, go to crypticonseattle.com, get info, get tickets, and get your ass to the con if you're in the area.
That's right. Yep. And hey, if you don't mind missing Friday night, if you're gonna be heading to Crypticon, but you want to maybe venture out before your Saturday, Sunday Crypticon experience, you can go about 2 hours north and come to Hadlock and check out a hell of a hip hop show. I know I mentioned earlier, we mentioned it one last time. This Friday, May 20th, Ubiquitous Success Crew, Crazy Otter, Port Hadlock, Washington. Tickets in advance, $20, 25 day of the show, 35 for a VIP experience, comes with exclusive poster. I think that covers everything. It is a 21 and up event, of course. And if you get a ticket from me, you get a free Steven Crypto sticker.
And a high five.
And a crisp high five.
Crisp. Yeah, do that. If you're in the area, check out the show, go to Crypticon. Keep on listening to the Steven Crypto show. Next week we'll probably talk about Crypticon, and we got a ton of guests in the works that we're going to be chatting with.
That's right.
Like, literally in the next week or two, like big guests that we're super excited about. There's actually, I'm actually a little nervous about talking to one of them because he's a kind of a legend in his field, and he was a journalist for a long time, and he interviewed fucking who's who. You know, he's interviewed everybody.
Yeah, my dad actually had to kind of educate me on some things that this person has done.
Yeah,
you know, even he's hip to what he does.
He's a writer. He's done a lot of cool shit. So once I got it recorded, we'll announce who. I kind of threw a hint up on Instagram the other day, though. So if you're following me on Instagram, there's a pretty good hint on there.
Yeah, we might throw a couple hints around later. You've already thrown one hint up, but another one might be for somebody who we've actually mentioned earlier. But that's all I can say.
Right. I caught you.
Yeah.
I was like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, you don't even know. Yeah.
But, yes, do the trivia, head to Patreon, head to Buy Me a Coffee, follow us on social media, share us on social media, jump in on our Facebook group and all this stuff, and keep showing us some love because we got plenty to send back. And I think that's going to about do it for this episode. We will talk to you guys at Crypticon.
Yeah. Looking forward to it. Just a few days away. If you see us wearing some Steven Crypto merch, come say hi. We'll be the only ones. We'll be the only ones wearing Steven Crypto merch there. So
you never know who's going to show up. You never know who's going to show. We got a couple locals that I know got some merch. So maybe that crackhead that I threw the hat to, maybe he'll show up. I hope not, but if he does, cool. I'm glad he supported the convention.
Right.
Until he gets kicked out. And then we see him dragging him out and just snatch the hat off.
Let me take that hat off real quick.
Yeah, you don't need that. All right, guys. We've been the Steven Crypto Show. Thanks for listening.
All right, we'll catch you on 79. Peace.